Welcome, everyone, to the PowerCat AI webinars. And this is a special one. If you've joined before, you can see we have quite a few guest speakers with us today, which we're very excited about. So I'm going to hop right in. And the guest speakers are here because we're going to be sharing real-world stories, agentic solutions with Copilot Studio and Power Platform. Woohoo! Okay, so I'm going to be one of your hosts. I'm going to be in the background just managing tooling and polling. And then we have Samir and Sally, and I'm going to allow them to briefly introduce themselves.
Hey folks, I'm Samir from the engineering group, and lead a bunch of efforts related to community and storytelling. So really excited to be here to co-host this session along with Sally and Ashley.
Absolutely. I'm Sally, and I work on the same team with Samir. As Samir mentioned, we are part of our engineering organization and driving the community and the storytelling efforts and working closely with our CAD and Fast Track teams. So great to have everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm so glad you could join us for this special session showcasing real-world customer stories. And today, as Ashley mentioned, we'll be hearing from remarkable leaders, Brian, Azsure, Francis, and Greg, who are using Microsoft Copilot Studio and Power Platform to turn bold ideas into real-world impact. So I think today's lineup is super exciting with a lot of different perspectives. So we'll be hearing how AI can scale inside large enterprises and how communities can spark adoption from the ground up, and how transformation can connect every layer of the organization, and also how AI is reshaping, redefining innovation across every skill level. So the stories, they are not theoretical stories, they are lived experiences. And each one is full of insights and also practical approaches that you can apply right away. So to all of the speakers, Brian, Azsure, Francis, Greg, thank you for being here. It's a real pleasure to have you all. All right, let me, let's take a quick the agenda and the setup. So this is a 90-minute of session. So for the first hour, we'll be hearing from each of our speakers, and then we will have a panel discussion and live Q&A for the last 30 minutes before we close here. Samir, would you like to share a few words?
I think my gray hair shows like how long we've been in this technology space. And I know these days, if many of you listen to podcasts or various articles, and the biggest thing is, hey, how is AI actually being used? And so I'm just couldn't be more excited to have, these sorts of stories and this amazing panel of speakers to share how are people doing it in their organizations.
And with that, we'll go to our first speaker, Brian Hodel, leading a team of, in T-Mobile, driving the enterprise level AI innovation across the team. So over to you, Brian. Brian, you are on mute.
I like to get a little teaser for everyone. Brian Hodel, principal engineer at software at T-Mobile, and let's see, letting me click. It is not switching.
I'm happy to control the slides for you, Brian. Oh, okay, I see.
There we go.
Awesome.
There we go. All right. So, yeah, T-Mobile, the largest telecoms in the world, and recently rated the best mobile network in the United States by Okta. So, 132 million employees. You've probably heard of us or seen us, at least, with this great magenta color that continues to grow and be more popular. The Deming said it's not necessary to change. but survival is not mandatory. And I think that applies more now than ever. AI is moving business and just the world in general faster than anything in the past. And if you don't change, you will be left behind. And I think that everybody's coming to that realization, and at different levels and different speeds. But it's changing how the world works. T-Mobile's no stranger to change. About a decade ago, we launched the Un-carrier movement and constantly changed what the industry was doing and how it was doing it, and just said basically, let's throw out the stencil, what everybody else is doing, and let's be the Un-carrier. Let's do things different. Let's push everyone to change and move away from the plain old telephone network that it essentially was in a digital form, and move forward. There we go. The adoption journey, as you see through the Power Platform, really starts with solving problems and visualizing them. So Power Automate, Power Apps, and Power BI are really the key things that we implemented, and then enables the organization to organize processes and to do some basic automation and get systems in place. And then as we scaled and started adopting other pieces of the platform to grow and to add more capabilities, up through now adding on top of organized data and information, now we're adding intelligence. So Copilot adds the capability for us to simply ask questions, automate processes with intelligence instead of having to predetermine, so that things can move and change as the organization changes. We don't have to be so deterministic and plan everything, because things are always in flux. So having flexible structures is important. In so doing, we have a lot of engaged users. We have a lot of agents, but through that, we also have to do controls on those environments. And these are some of the ways that we do that. A big way that we do, other than, of course, compliance and governance, is user group engagement. So we have a fantastic team of people that supports these tools, that are very knowledgeable, but we also have an enterprise level community that supports and grows and encourages people to try new things and helps them through their problems. And really, that is the best way to scale these tools, is to allow the user groups to support each other, so they have resources that they can constantly reach out to and get ideas. And we have several series of meetings, and that's grown to what you can see is 10,000 plus licensed users currently. And as you can see, that's also grown and increased in our usage, both in Power Apps and in Copilot agents, and it's continuing to grow rapidly as we now have more value in the data, because data is very important, but having to go and search for that data is inconvenient and challenging and takes training. But adding intelligence allows you to move past that, because it now allows that data to be everywhere that you need it to be. One example of that is the Orbit single intake. So we have everything that touches a customer, from device launches to infrastructure changes, goes through the Orbit system. And that was built 7 years ago and has continued to evolve and change. And I talk about this platform a lot, but every single time I do, there's new features, there's new things, there's new capabilities. We're constantly evolving and changing as the organization demands that we add new teams and new capabilities and new processes, and we're able to be very agile in that. So this is some of our challenges and what we were able to do with this. So that, again, adding the intelligence to data allows you to get summaries of information, get to the information that you need, ask it direct questions, and get direct answers. So here's a demo, and you can see this is just a sample. I actually used Copilot to generate this, so this is not real, but this is a good example of the ton of information that exists in. This is a service offer, but there's all kinds of different forms, all kinds of different things in here that That's done. There we go. And it grows, and it adds complexity. And so we were able to add intelligence with Copilot to ask questions like, what's in the pipeline, right? What is going to launch coming up? Ask questions about that. And you can see this is a lot of information. And so we took this and we kind of grouped this together. And so you can say, summarize this, and it gives you some key elements. So we have the overview, experience, value, and KPIs that we pull from that. So from that massive, massive list of information, we can now summarize this so that an executive can go in there and say, what's going on with this promotion? Okay, I don't have to read through and interpret everything. We've interpreted it already for you using the intelligence of Copilot. And so then you can actually, we have automation that we built in there as well. So we can have, you can just simply ask it to send that information. So now that I've summarized this, go ahead and send this. And then an email is sent out from Copilot with that same information to inform somebody of what's going on. But a lot of times you also need other requests. So you need approval. So in this case, what's the pipeline? This is the pipeline for the next week of what's launching. Go ahead and send an approval request to someone. That approval request uses the out-of-the-box approvals, and you can see it will generate an approval request. So then I can go in there and review that request, make comments on it, approve it, reject it. And this is all within Teams. So we also have it available within the flyout, within the Canvas app and some other places. But imagine you're a general person. I live in Teams. I'm in Teams all the time. All of my tools are right there. We have the app, but also I can just ask questions. I can get information. I can get the answers and move on with the day and take tasks. I don't have to switch around. And of course, it's in Copilot Studio, which means it's very easy for me to leverage others that need help. So if we have somebody else needs to go in and make a change, it's not a special code that I did that nobody understands. We have Power Automate in here. So now we can also extend the ROI of our agents. We have an agent that does great things. Why don't we leverage that? So every Monday, it sends out a summary to certain people with the pipeline information. Every time an initiative is submitted, it's going to send that to the sponsor and the VP so that they understand what's going on. And it's summarized and it's quick and it's effective for them. So now we built one thing, but we can use it in a bunch of different ways. So increasing our usage and ROI, as well as components like prompts. So we can build a prompt and we can use it in different flows. We don't have to just use it here. We can share it out and use that because we've already invested in making this component good and better and easy to use and effective. So we can take that and we can take that into other tools. Really the core of process improvement is to constantly look at what you've done, and there's no we're done with this improvement. There's always opportunities to make things better. Everything is moving, and it's moving very fast, and this has never been truer than it is now. There's always opportunities to look at your process and say, how do we make this better? How do we make it more efficient, intuitive? And with the new tools like Copilot Studio coming out, things like the Promo Genius, which we launched last year, which is a retail-facing app. It's built entirely on the Power Platform and integrates with a bunch of existing systems, just like Orbit. Pulls in, makes things very easy to navigate, and then we layered on Copilot as well. So now there's a flyout in there, so you can actually see what's going on and ask normal questions. So as you can see, we had a lot of problems here. It's very complex plans. It was actually a paper process before. So you'd go into the store and they would have to look at paper and figure out what the promos were. It's very difficult for a lot of reasons. Now we can use natural language to query things, to find information. We can really focus on hiring people for what they're good at, right? Hiring them for being a people person. You don't have to compromise on their personal skills to make sure that they also understand device specs. So as you can see here, we have a little flyout with a Copilot on here that helps them. So the left is Promo Genius to find a promotion, but often they have questions about devices. So I in this case I don't have to ask normal queries through filters. I can say I have a teacher who's 55 years old. What's the best device for her? What would you recommend? And it's going to give you answers to that. You don't have to think about how do we ask the question to some sort of drop downs and filters and queries. And you just ask in natural language. So anyone can use these tools. We don't have to train people on them. We can give them a tool that works. And now we can say, okay, well, that was the device that was recommended. What if we compare that device to a similar device, and it's going to give you the specs. It's going to give you a lot of specs. It's going to give you a lot of details in here that say here are the things that that you need to know. Here's the screen size, the battery, all of this stuff, which is a lot of information. Some people do want, right? So if I go in, I want to know a lot of specs around the device. I'll probably know, but if I ask a question, I want to get very detailed answers. But most people don't. Right? If a teacher, if my neighbor's a teacher, she doesn't care. She wants to know, is it big enough for me to store videos? Is it something that I'm going to be able to use and see and I'm not going to have to mess with? So you can summarize the difference. It's going to give you a really nice breakdown of what's the difference between these two devices. What do I need to know? What stands out? This one is lighter. This one has a better battery life. And then I can also ask, here's what the customer cares about, right? Large screen and a simple interface. And so it's going to give you a recommendation based on those criteria, those pieces of information that are important to the customer. And it's going to say, this is the device that stands out from there. And like in other tools, we've also extended this. We make it available in Teams. And so you have more real estate. And with the more real estate, you can have better formatting and make it look very nice and intuitive. And so here you can compare the different iPhone 17 devices. And it gives you a nice little information. It gives you details and summaries, what you need, what your takeaways are for this, and allows you to just interact with the tool in a natural way. And now, commonly you have is as somebody that has they have certain priorities, right? This is what I like to do. I'm an artist, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a photographer. I explore. These are the things, and those are the things people come in with, because that's what people are. That's not what specs are. That's what people are. And if you have the intelligence with Copilot, you can just simply ask those questions. Now, typically they come in with some sort of device they already have. And so now we can layer that device in right next to all of the rest of the devices. And they can see now, okay, here's what I'm going to get. Do I want to upgrade? Maybe I don't want to upgrade. It's a lot of money. But here's what I'm going to get if I do upgrade. And so I can compare those things and see what exactly I'm going to get with that. And again, you can do all of this without having to learn the specs, without having to know the devices. And of course, people in the retail environment are going to know a lot of these specs and devices. But you don't want to have to hire people that are good at reciting specifications and understanding what these things are, right? You want to hire somebody that's the best at dealing with customers, dealing with humans. That's why people go into a retail store. It's the same thing with a doctor. You want to hire somebody that's the best doctor, not somebody that's a good doctor and good at technology. The technology should be transparent. It should be an assistant to help them do their job. And that's what we offer here. Go to the next. So key takeaways, they can encourage mistakes. People are too often afraid to make mistakes. Was it the famous quote? I didn't learn 700 ways to not make a light bulb. I learned one way to make a light bulb, and I think that encouraging people to try new things is the most important thing, especially when you have the power of the low code, no code type development. Of course, that extends into pro code, and we want to put that into a pigeonhole that, but the ability to move fast and make change and to adapt to things with the Power Platform allows you to make those mistakes, to challenge what people are doing, and and then building a community of people, a champions community. We have all kinds of different champions community. Most of the people in this call are probably part of some sort of champions community, but internally we have several. And that support structure, that ability to scale and democratize knowledge and support each other without having to open a request. Just go and talk to somebody, get ideas. We have recurring meetings. It's gonna be tremendously valuable to your organization in your adoption of AI and tools, because it's going to be more than any one person can know. I don't know everything about Copilot. I know a very small piece, but as a community, we can know the most of it and keep on track of changes and support each other. And then empower your makers. So often organizations save a little bit of money on licensing or over-index on putting requests in, but if you think of the opportunities that you miss by having people run into barriers, people that are really passionate and would have gone on to do really great things, if they keep running into brick walls, be it licensing or security barriers or requests that take a long time, eventually they will get burned out, and then you will lose them, and then that opportunity is sunk. So make sure that you of course are secure and responsible with governance, but make sure that you, as much as possible, remove the barriers to people solving problems and making a change in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, for your great presentation. It's been really fantastic to see your journey and evolution, from the early obvious solution you mentioned to what you have built today, really bring the AI intelligence to this iconic and mission critical solution, and also building the new agentic solution like Promote Genius. Absolutely a wonderful example of what it means to scale AI for real. Thank you so much, Brian. Next, from enterprise scale to grassroots scale, our next speaker, Azsure from State Farm, she discovered that when you empower a community, innovation spreads faster and better than any top-down program. Azsure, please take it away.
What a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Azsure Dorton. I'm the engineering manager at State Farm for the Power Platform administration team. It's just such a joy to be here. First of all, let me introduce State Farm. We are a property casualty insurer in the United States. So we provide car insurance, life insurance, homeowners, renters, all kinds of amazing products and services in the United States. If you're not familiar with us, please do check out our website and you can learn a lot more. But what is important to understand is it's a financial services insurance institution, so a very risk-averse company in terms of how we go about our business. As we go about our interactions today, I would love for you to reflect on what we're sharing here. Chat amongst yourselves. Maybe you have some ideas that you want to share together. So if you hear something that resonates with you, besides popping your questions into the poll, share ideas and reflections that you have so that way you can learn together and reflect together in the chat going on today. That's a really important part of what networking together is about. And as we're even thinking about being together, this is being hosted by the Power Cat team. A lot of what we've been able to accomplish is not have been possible without the partnership and help from Microsoft. So we have to start out with a huge gratitude to Samir, Sally, Ashley. Thank you so much for putting and hosting this today. The amazing team at Microsoft, Jay Steinke, the most talented Amber Wise, Ramsey, Ghanem, our super brilliant Yancey Kim, who helps us every single day. What an amazing, amazing group of friends that we have at Microsoft. Ravi Chada, Yasin Mukadam. So why is this important to us? State Farm is a relationship-oriented company. We do business with our customers through State Farm agents, not Copilot agents. It's a different kind of agent with which we interact with our customers. And it's really important that our relationships matter. And so the way Microsoft interacts with us is super critical. And so we value that. And we just really have a huge round of gratitude for that. So let's talk about our Power Platform journey at State Farm. It really needs to start out with understanding how our enterprise is structured. We have an operations side of the house, as many enterprise companies do, and we also have an IT organization in State Farm. And IT would build our applications, especially those that are customer facing. But sometimes we also have, within the operations side of the house, we have business units that also have IT shops as well that are end user computing or full stack development within the business areas. So it's important to understand kind of that setup to see where Power Platform and the use of Power Platform progressed within our organization. So it really starts with strong leadership. We have a really amazing director and executive that progressed bringing in Power Platform at State Farm, and without their leadership, this would not be successful. We do have the best. My director is the most amazing. I will plug that. If you have a great director, make sure you let them know what their leadership means to you. So again, our model of IT and end user development in our company and our business functions is what helped us to bring in the Power Platform a few years ago and provide it across the organization to every builder in our company, what we often now call as citizen development, to provide the strategy that we continue towards blending into Fusion development teams. And so today we have a rollout of Power Platform, and let me show you what this journey has looked like. As I continue to progress the slide. So this is kind of like a journey slide for us at State Farm. So we started by enabling the default environment for every employee in the company. Now, this is important to think about in a risk-averse enterprise because it proved out the ability to have governance and security for the Power Platform, again, for every builder, every employee at our organization. And then every single employee in our organization got a premium license. Now, this is pretty critical because we believe in this concept that we call as democratizing innovation. We believe that every employee, every business area is the best person to solve their problem. Now, that's pretty critical. Now, after that, once we proved out the default environment was working great and we could increase productivity and efficiency, then we rolled out managed environments, or what we called elevated environments for our organizations, where they could use those premium licenses at more enterprise scale builds and prove this was also effective. Then we provided Dataverse within those business area environments for even more opportunity for value added builds. And then this year, well, starting last year, but really this year, we got to enable Copilot Studio. Now, this was a pretty big development for our organization because if you think about where AI sits in an enterprise scale organization like this, AI belonged to the data scientists. And we've been using AI for mission critical type builds. But enabling Copilot Studio and AI within the platform was a pretty big shift for our organization because, again, that idea of democratizing this capability for every employee in our organization is very different in terms of perspective because it's a different way to enable it for every employee in our organization. So then if I think about what's next along that timeline, my goal is to continue rolling this out as we mature our strategy around this V2, we call it version 2 of the Power Platform, because now it's not just Power Platform, it's not just apps and automations and Copilot Studio, but this is a full-on AI orchestration platform for our internal use of the organization, and that's pretty exciting. And what does that mean? What's that look like in practice? So we have recently conducted a very cool session that we called an on-site event where our friends at Microsoft came and helped us, and we brought in all these business partners together. So we had 3 different business partners, and we came on site and we hosted a 3-day event where we took this a monolithic application that was old, outdated, and needed to be recreated in Power Platform. And it involves all of the newest capabilities, generative pages, agent feed, and we got a working prototype in 3 days. And it was amazing. But you might be surprised at really what we found was the best part about this build. It was the fact that even though we had a lead software engineer in the room, the main builder on this particular build was someone who had never touched the platform before. She was new to the platform, what we might even consider as an Excel wizard. And she stepped up and took lead on this event. and just really heads down, learning the platform, figuring out how to make this work, and is still the lead as she's finishing up this solution today. And it's going to be going into the first round of testing at the end of this month. And what was just so critical about this is learning new skills, this talented new builder on the platform leading this effort that's going to be touching every single main call center in our organization, over 30,000 employees. So this is going to be our biggest Power Platform solution in our organization. And the strength and character of this new builder on the platform leading the way. It's just the best story that we have to tell. And I can't wait till it gets into production before the end of the year. Ooh, sorry, I get chills talking about that. So let's talk about, though, what this really means in terms of our community. As an engineering manager for our Power Platform administration team, I don't have a separate team that's just designed for training and adoption. That would be pretty cool if we did. So we really take a community-centric approach to increase the adoption of our platform and for consumption of our end goal value realization. That's really on behalf of our enterprise and our policyholders, because at the end of the day, we really need to make sure that we're impacting the price for our policyholders. So let's talk about why and how we do this. So we have a very strategic approach for our community in order to increase enablement. First, as I mentioned, we licensed every employee at our company. Again, we call this democratizing innovation because we believe that the employees who do the work know how to solve their own problems. Now, let me pause and make sure that everyone who's in this room understands that this is not to say that IT does not have a backlog. They do. It's miles long and it ain't going away. But at the same time, employees who can solve their own problems, they can do that work while IT still prioritizes their own backlog. So IT's got their own plate, they're going to keep it full. And in the meantime, business areas can continue solving their own problems, creating efficiency and productivity for themselves and their teams. And in the meantime, our software engineers can also take advantage of the Power Platform. So it's really a great strategy. So next, as a platform leader, I really needed to be strategic in how we approached this. So, and that was, again, without a training team, if we create the right culture in this community, then the community will find ROI for the company. Now, I know it's tempting to jump for ROI first because dollars are what often speak to the leadership in our organization. I get that. I know when I'm doing my budget, dollars make sense for me as an individual and a leader of a household. But going back to the community, we made a decision. If you start with the community will find the ROI for us. So internally, we call it leading with love. But basically, it means if you focus first on creating the right environment where anyone can learn to build and they're empowered and encouraged to do it at every level, it will create a bottom-up, organic, and more powerful workforce of motivated learners. Included, from our perspective, we created OKRs that focused on creating community independence. So we created a Viva Engage, where community members can ask questions for each other and solve their own problems together. We post news, we schedule meetings, events, lunch and learns, trainings there. It really just created this hub of community involvement. Next, we created bi-weekly open office hours. Of course, we answer questions and community members can showcase their builds. But really, it's more than that. The open office hours are a bi-weekly ritual. We created a real place where humans connect together. Our feedback is overwhelming because every session is relative not just about to the content of the session, but it's about how people leave feeling. Let me show you this. Oh, oops, sorry, too fast. Verbatim comments about our open office hours include, "This is the State Farm I always wanted to work for." Our meeting attendance has grown. It's over 100 members every 2 weeks that are showing up brand new people, experienced people. And this is honestly, I promise you, one of the top 5 things I'm most proud of in my career at this organization. And to measure this success, it's not just about the open office hours, it's about the evidence, not just how they feel in the work, but the number of people who've been promoted because of their work on the Power Platform. And that's amazing. People getting jobs outside of their current role or getting promotions into leadership because of it. And on top of that, this year we're sending 25 attendees to PPCC at the end of this month. So come find us. That's amazing. Yeah. So let's just look at a few fun metrics. We've got a lot of active community members, but this is what they're generating. And that's also pretty amazing. So again, at the end of the day, though, we want them to generate ROI for the organization because that helps us to impact the premium that we charge for our policyholders. So we do capture, or we're trying to start capturing how dollars can quickly and easily impact our organization. So here's an example of one builder alone who created a solution that is, in our hope, paying for our contract for 1 year. So we're excited about this again, and we want to celebrate these builders and help their leaders to understand what their contributions are. So again, that strategy around community empowerment is teaching others, and then you create a funnel of champions that take on that lift and they share it among themselves. They're proud of it. And at my company, it's translated to adoption that it's exceeded our expectations, and again, created ROI that can capture millions. Now, to help ensure AI skills, which is really critical at this point, we're focusing on providing more resources for our builders. The Kickstarter series, got to highlight that. It's a great way to help my team, our key stakeholders, and champion builders understand the product and design thinking. Additionally, we're huge fans. We just went through our first round of Power Up. Love Power Up. Can't wait for the new iteration of it that's going to be coming out after PPCC. And I've got literally hundreds of community members who cannot wait to sign up for the next round when Power Up re-ups. So let's get this to close. I know we want to close. You want to get to the next person. So what's next for us in the next 6 months? We want to. Sorry, that's almost, Francis, almost. Okay. In the next 6 months, we're really looking to take our organization from like at the first phase of AI to really embracing AI on our journey. We are placing Power Platforms squarely in the tool belt of every IT professional, not just citizen developers, but IT professionals by working with our principal and our distinguished engineers on enterprise scope builds currently, as well as putting the platform on our IT AI decision tree. So that's really exciting work that really puts Power Platform in the center of every software engineer's tool belt. But beyond that, we're really working with State Farm to be firmly part of the Frontier Firm vision. We're really excited about this. I really know that this platform is integral in reshaping how the employees that we hire will be doing work. Again, not replacing people, but reshaping the way that we do work. And I'm really excited beyond any imagination in being part of that. So it's our vision to partner with HR, and make that vision a reality as we think about how employees not just create agents, but become directors of a workforce of agents that help us, again, think differently about the way that we do work. I know Microsoft calls it a multiplier of 10 times ROI. But I envision it as being a multiplier of innovation. And I really can't wait to see how our 79,000 employees at my company unleash that innovation because we give them permission to dream big. So thank you, Sally, for inviting us here today to share how that works for us. And hopefully it inspires you to think that way as well.
Wow, that was mind-blowing. Thank you so much, Azsure. I could really feel the energy of your community in every story you shared. Thank you so much for for showing us what the people first AI adoption looks like with a clear strategy and your thoughtful nurturing approach. The democratized empowerment can turn into such a deep impact. Thank you so much, Azsure. And next, we will turn to a story from Francis at UKG. Let me move my screen. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, Frances will share how her team is building and scaling AI agents across no code, low code, and pro code by working hand in hand with their business partners to unlock huge potential in their company. Over to you, Frances.
So thank you for that introduction. As Sally mentioned, I'm Frances Happel. I am with UKG, and we are the Applied AI Products team, part of Enterprise AI. So a little bit about UKG is that we are a workforce platform company. We support HR, pay, and workforce management. You may have heard of some of our solutions, UKG Pro, UKG Ready, UKG Workforce Management, but this is our product. This is what our company does. So our team is focused really on UKG, the business, on the internal use cases and the needs of our employees who work on all of these amazing products that we offer. So our team is pretty small, and we're also brand new. We just started as the Enterprise AI team and the Applied AI Products team in August. There are 6 of us who are supporting the entire organization, and we deliver AI solutions to our business partners in finance, go-to-market, customer experience, HR, engineering, data and analytics, and the enterprise solutions and experience team. We formed the team from a few people who were already working in traditional IT roles and already leveraging AI tools. And this allows us to really focus on AI for UKG and on rolling out AI to all of our citizen developers and all of our employees and making sure that they can best use all of these tools that we have to offer. We also are building tools ourselves. So we're doing a lot of agent building within Copilot Studio and continuing to grow that footprint as well. So we were already leveraging the Power Platform and Dynamics 360, some of the Dynamics 365 tools at UKG. And we continue to align with our business partners. So each of our team members is aligned to one of these business areas so that we can have that subject matter expertise and really work closely with them to partner as they build and we build. We certainly want them to do a lot of the building themselves as well. As I mentioned, we're a team of 6. We cannot build all of the solutions for AI that we need at UKG. So we are certainly empowering our organization to leverage these tools and do a lot of this building themselves as well. We are doing a lot of education. We're providing some clear guide rails to help them succeed and engaging with them to really energize them in leveraging AI and making their lives easier. We're assisting them with defining and designing their use cases, making sure that we're picking the right tool for their use case and helping them to be successful. We generally have 3 different types of tools that we're offering to our team and to the organization as a whole. So we have no code, which for Microsoft tools are Declarative and Copilot Studio agents. These are quick and straightforward. They're easy to get started with. It's something that a lot of our employees can build for themselves. That provides them some simple automation, Q&A bots, and it's easy to connect to the existing Microsoft data sources like SharePoint. So this helps them get going with using AI tools and show some real value within their teams. Next, we generally move into low-code solution. So this is using Copilot Studio and Power Platform. This is where our team is more likely engaging with them to help, and we're able to have some additional customization. We can use the Power Platform connectors and API connections to have more advanced workflows, and this helps us move fast with development when the use case requires it. So with all of the different business partners that we're working with, they're at different levels of maturity on their AI journey. So we have some teams that are fully able to build all of these solutions themselves, and some that require a little more support as we start moving along this path. So depending on where they are, we're meeting them where they are and helping them to engage and prioritize all of the things that they want to do with AI. And they're all very excited about it, as are we. We also can do some high code solutions. This is where we're starting to explore. As I mentioned, we're a pretty new team, so we're starting to dip our toes in here, leveraging Azure and Fabric. We're really excited about the Fabric data agents. Those are showing a lot of power and allowing us to do a lot of really cool things, leveraging the AI Foundry as well, and exploring a lot of new ways to put AI to work and uncover more opportunities. So I do want to show a quick demo of one of the agents that we rolled out recently. So UKG recently rebranded. We announced our new brand at the beginning of the month. And with that new brand, we want to make sure that we are communicating effectively and consistently to our customers within the organization and without. So this is the brand communicator agent that our team built. And this is used to help our employees rewrite their communications, leveraging that brand voice and the guidance that we have from our communications teams. Play here. So you can see we have some suggested prompts, putting that in, and we're copying in one of our LinkedIn posts from before the rebrand. And the agent will respond with the new language that it suggests we use, and more importantly, giving notes for the user about what it changed and why. So this is really helpful to empower our team for the future, because along with getting the rewritten language, they're also seeing suggestions for what they can do in the future, so they can better write communications themselves and keep that consistent voice and brand tone with all of those communications. And yes, I did run all of the language in my slides through this agent before this presentation. So I'm using it myself too. We've seen really great usage with this. As I mentioned, it has rolled out pretty recently because we did just announce our new brand at the beginning of the month, but we've already seen thousands of usages here and so much time saved in rewriting all of these communications. Looking forward, we have over 300 ideas that have been submitted from our organization for AI internal usage at UKG. And we are looking for the use cases that provide the highest impact solutions to our organization. So here are a few that we have coming up. One is our performance and compensation agent. So as we go through our performance and compensation review cycle at UKG, helping to streamline communications, give people answers faster, because it's always a confusing and difficult time for everyone. So this gives them a lot easier access to information. And that was built with Copilot Studio and the SharePoint connectors, and it's actually going live later today. The customer news agent is coming soon. This is pulling in customer news about our customers from an API and pulling that into Dataverse. We intend to move this out to a Fabric data agent in the near future as well, but giving our employees and our executives access easily to news about our customers. It also ranks the news, so it will go through and provide a lot of detail about why that article was chosen, because we don't want to pull back all of the articles. That would be way too much for anybody to consume. So pulling back the most relevant and the most important news articles that they need to see about those customers. We're also working on a proof of concept with a product recommendation agent to recommend the best products for our customers, to help our teams really look at all of our product suite and determine which of the pieces would be most valuable to that customer based on their needs. I know I was short, but that is everything that we're working on at UKG. We're really excited to continue our journey and keep moving forward and keep developing additional solutions. Back to you, Sally.
Yeah, thank you so much, Francis. This was wonderful, and I really loved how your strategy really, is grounded in real business challenges and creating value for the company. Your approach, as you mentioned, meeting people where they are, meeting the teams where we are, and using the right mix of tools and different skill sets to solve the problem effectively. That's definitely inspiring, and thank you so much. And finally, we'll close with a story of sort of a full stack transformation, and we'll hear from Greg at PeopleCert. So Greg's team, they have woven Dynamics 365, Power Platform, and Copilot Studio into one intelligent ecosystem that is redefining how they work and how they collaborate. So please welcome Greg.
So I'm Greg Maros, head of AI enablement and digital platforms in PeopleCert. I'm actually handling 4 teams. So D365 customer engagement, D365 FNO, our ERP, Power Platform, and our websites, which is on Sitecore, similar in Microsoft technology. And the fifth, actually, it's something very recently, the AI enablement team, which actually started 1 month back. So what I'm going to talk to you about, it's about our journey so far, building the foundation for AI enablement. So we started with D365 approximately 15 years back, but it was actually 4 years back that the team actually started working with D365 internally. So PeopleCert is a global leader in the certification industry. We provide professional certifications around the world in approximately more than 200 countries, and we support the whole process end to end. So from e-learning to the actual exam and finally acquiring the certification. This is our portfolio. So we are actually handling IT, operational digital transformation, project management, DevOps, IT certification, and language certification. So probably a lot of you have already acquired some of these certifications. So the challenge we're facing was that although we were using D365, our main problem was the fact that we were too much dependent on a vendor. So 4 years back, we decided to start building an internal team inside the technology division that could handle all of the 365 implementation, customization, etc. At the same time, due to continuous growth, I mean, we're growing approximately 40% per year. There were a lot of processes that are actually fragmented, so there was heavy reliance on manual processes that created inefficiencies and operational bottlenecks. At the same time, what we're trying to explore was technology and the whole AI era, and what we have actually understood is that due to these rapid technological shifts, it was impacting our employee adaptability. So everyone was trying to follow, but they couldn't. So the idea was, first of all, to build the foundation internally in the technology. So we started growing our team. We started with D365 customer engagement, like I said, customer service. We proceeded with the marketing, so customer insight journey and customer insights data. And of course, we connected all of this to omnichannel. So all of these were connected to the customers to our platform. Finally, we started re-engineering the sales platform. Again, customer insights, customer D365 customer engagement. So last year, we started migrating to finance and operation. And okay, so D365 is a very cool platform, but due to our unique business, we wanted to extend it. So at the same time, we started exploring Power Platform across organization. So although we started with the internal technological team, we picked some people in a, let's say, pilot citizen development program to check if they were able to handle some of the smaller requests. So the results were amazing. Actually, one of the citizen developers actually came to our team. He created more than 5 Power Apps, Canvas apps in his 3-month period working with us. So we took him in our team, trying to make him, first of all, better and also help us with the rest of the things related with the daily work of the team. Next slide, please. Oh, like I said, we embraced the 365 and Power Platform. We created an innovation team and started the citizen development program to reduce vendor dependency, and of course, promoting internal expertise development along with Microsoft, working with workshops, hackathons, a lot of reading. And all of this reached to, I think, last 3 months, where as an organization, we started discussing how we would react on this whole AI hype. It was a strategic decision to go all in. So after getting in a lot of discussions with a lot of experts outside there, we decided that having a technological foundation on platforms and the whole ecosystem would help us also embrace the AI new era. So we started with building an AI committee, which includes me and some of the executives. We started building an AI governance. So our motto was go all in or go home, actually. So the idea was to provide AI to everyone. We started with a ground level where everyone in PeopleCert currently has access to M365 Copilot licensing. Level 2 was tools like D365 or Power Platform that had embedded AI that could be used in specific tasks. Level 3 was our community, our AI champions. So we picked from business approximately 44 people that are currently being trained on all aspects of D365, Power Platform, M365 Copilot. And of course, level 4 was the more, let's say, tech-savvy team, machine learning engineers and data scientists. The vision, like I said, was to unleash AI at scale, empower every team with a unified strategic vision. So what we've seen is that until now, there were a lot of AI initiatives, but there was no vision. So we decided to centralize the vision, but keep decentralized the actions. So this is why the main focus is on the AI champions, which are going to work like the middleman between business and technology. So they are going to bring ideas and actually work on them. Like I said, we met the AI in our day-to-day. We built an AI champions network. And of course, we started utilizing Copilot Studio we're starting exploring it some years back when it was just for virtual agents. So we were using it for simple processes, but when Microsoft invested in OpenAI and started utilizing its models, we saw real value in this. So we started exploring even more, starting with internal agents, and then take it to external agents, which I'm going to show some of these demos later on. We also, like I said, started building a governance over the whole processes, and of course, trying to change the culture, because what we understood, it was not a matter of technology, it was mostly a matter of culture. So trying to change the culture of using the AI champions, change the mindset would be the best approach. So some real world solutions. Like I said, we had a lot of internal agents, but the two, let's say, that we are proud of, first of all, it's Certipal. It's a customer service agent, which works 24/7. It's included in the Omnichannel. So although it has been created in Copilot, it's integrated with Omnichannel, so it can escalate any issues that the bot cannot handle to our agents, along with any information collected. And our last agent is a career coach, sales agent, which is currently on MVP. So we're planning to release it live approximately 1 to 2 months. It's actually a sales agent. We're starting asking some questions through our website to our customers, and based on their reactions, it can recommend some personalized certifications. And to get to know them, actually some of the metrics first. So like I said, Corey, our career agent, is going to get live in 2 months, but Certipilot has been more than 1.5 year with us. So the results were amazing. Like I said, we're starting with a logic tree and then transition to a clear generative AI agent approximately November 2024. It's handling more than 270 chats per day, 24/7, and based on specific requests, either if the customer requests himself or through sentiment analysis that is being run in the backend using AI Builder. It can escalate to the agent. We also saw a lot of improvement through our voice of customer. So the agent is also connected to the voice of customer tool collecting feedback. We saw a lot of improvement also there. And to know people, let me see. Sally, okay. So this is searchable. Like I said, it's embedded in our website. You can select some specific options, but you can also chat with him. Like I said, we saw a lot of improvement in handling the queries, but due to the fact that we're talking about the exam and certification industry, what was difficult and we're still trying to explore probably in the next year is going to be how to make the agent make actions on behalf of the agent. So there are a lot of requests, for example, scheduling exams or changing my exam language and things like this. So these, unfortunately, are being escalated to the agent himself, to the human agent. We are using a lot of adaptive cards also to help them, and of course, rate the bot. Let me introduce you to Corey. Again, it's embedded in our website, but also it's going to be like a standalone page so we can marketize it. As you can see, there is a lot of differences from the first and the second agent because there were a lot of that we actually utilized the knowledge we had so far. We improved the UI. It's the same thing we're going to do with Certipal in the next year. So actually, it's a career coach agent. It can respond to you based on your specific quiz. First of all, it has also, however, it's also integrated with our website. So if you are logged in, it knows your history with PeopleCert. So it does not going to recommend you something that you have already acquired. And of course, after you show some interest, it can provide you with some discount through customer insight journey and of course through the user interface itself. In general, due to the fact that we are actually utilizing most of the ecosystem in D365 and Power Platform, what we're trying to do is when there is a request, we're trying to see if we can utilize some of the existing functions in D365. If not, we are using Power Platform to extend it. And then we also have pro developers that actually extend it even more using Pro Code. So some key takeaways. From my point of view, the first thing is a proper governance, processes, people that can actually work on all of this and make sure that everything is okay and clear. Change of mindset. Like I said, it's not a technology change, it's a cultural change, and this is something very important for every organization. Strong foundation. We wouldn't be able to perform like this if we didn't already utilize the D365 ecosystem and already started building some skills on this. focusing on people. Either we're talking about the AI Champions program or the actual connection we have as technology and business. It's always a people-centered transformation. So if you want to actually make a change, you need to have people in the center. And of course, empowering AI champions, building a trust and accelerating mentoring AI adoption efforts along the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. Really appreciate your presentation, demo, and insights, main takeaways that, especially the two agents, career coaching agent and also customer support agent that are built on top of the strong foundation, which is backed by Dynamics and Power Platform, and the business impact and everything you shared. That is definitely amazing. Thank you so much.
I do have, a question I was curious on, so I'm going to kick things off here. Huge round of applause and thank you, of course, for all our panelists. The one thing that struck me throughout, all the sessions is the strong kind of emphasis on this combination of, empowerment, community. You're not doing it alone. It's not just one individual or one team. How you get enabling everyone else, along with maybe I'll say three things, along with like a real focus on the ROI and value, and what is the value for those, whether it's at the use case level or all up as your strategy. And then what I noticed in all of yours also had sort of a framework and strategy. You weren't just going ahead and building things. There was, whether it's the no code, low code, high code approach, so it was great to see. I think all of those would be interesting. I know in the short time we have here, we're not going to dive into enough depth. We maybe have to have you back. One question for Greg, actually. Yours is really this full stack transformation, includes Dynamics to Power Platform, Copilot Studio. And not everyone on this call might have all of those pieces. So I'm curious to know, what did you learn about orchestrating that change across both business and technology across the entire stack?
Okay, sure. So, like I said, we thought initially that it was a matter of technology, but over the past years, we didn't just, connect systems. We connected people, processes, and purposes. So what we have learned is that technology transformation only works when it's led by culture. So D365, of course, gave us structure, Power Platform gave us flexibility, and Copilot Studio now is giving intelligence. But the real change, let's say, came from creating the conditions for collaboration, bringing business and technology together under a shared language of innovation. So, like I said, initially, before the AI Champions community creation, we're working very closely with business. So with a lot of back and forth, actually doing workshops together, and later on, of course, currently the AI champions are working like a middleman. So the key is to treat technology not as a project, but as a capability that belongs to everyone. So that's how we orchestrated change, by empowering people to build, not just to adopt.
Very cool. And these champions are both in the business and IT. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I would say yes. We are aiming actually for business, but just to be fair, we needed also to have some guys from technology. So there are also two people from technology.
Awesome. And I think that actually dovetails really well into our top voted question here, right? And I think this came up, Azsure, when you were speaking, is hand in hand with enabling a wide set of people. How do you set up the right guardrails? So what type of guardrails do you implement to then allow that level of experimentation and making mistakes, as Brian had also said? So who wants to jump in and take that one first?
I'm happy to start.
Yep.
And I know that everyone here probably has some great stories, but for our organization, again, starting especially in the default environment enables you to put a lot of guardrails. We call them bumpers and guardrails, right? And where anyone can build in that default environment. So only allowing certain connectors, for example, M365 connectors, not putting in custom connectors, right? Really putting in some controls in place that allow builders to learn, experiment, grow, use their creativity, but do it in a very safe and controlled manner. Then you can slow roll it out. That's a really great example of a great place to start.
Anyone else want to add on that?
Yeah, we did the same kind of a deal. We really locked down the default environment, and so we've got, I don't know, I think we're probably over 1,000 environments now, dedicated environments. And so if you are going to build anything with, although we're organizationally licensed for premium premium Power App licenses for everyone, we made the distinction for basically anything that's premium. You get a dedicated environment with certain DLP policies, and we have tiered policies. That the higher level policies are for custom connectors, and those are added independently through a review. And then if you need RPA through Power Automate Desktop, then that's another DLP policy. So we kind of manage it through guardrails as well to keep people in their lane, essentially, but we give them a lot of flexibility. So you have a set of environments, a dev and a prod for your team for whatever you need, and then they can go ahead and build whatever they do. So we do have the center of excellence installed. We do a lot of monitoring and check up on things if we see a lot of growth or some really high usage or anything sort of anomalous in there. So we kind of check up on that. But that's the idea, and it's a very easy process to get a dedicated environment. So you put in a request, and it's like the next day you get it, and it's provisioned, and you get service accounts and everything for it. So we have a great process for that. Again, it's to remove the barriers and to let people get in there and just start learning when they have time. Nobody has a lot of time, and so the more you can remove those waiting for things and having to go through processes, the better, and the more things are going to develop.
Awesome. I think you guys covered. Francis, were you going to add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to add that we're doing a lot of similar things as well. We love experimentation. We want our citizen developers to have that access and be able to build things on their own, but go through a good process before anything moves out and is more widely shared. And we're starting to move to developer environments as well.
Yeah. Awesome. And we'll share a link. There's also a lot of good guidance, on the various, on Microsoft Learn, on setting up the right policies and strategy and approach. So we can drop a link there as well. In terms of, I'll actually pull a question from Jim that was there, which was related to this aspect of sort of governance and how do you manage development. I think, Francis, when you were sharing, Jim had asked about, like, you've got those 300 use cases. How are you prioritizing and picking from them? And are you using AI itself to do that? And that was, from Jim from Hexion.
Yeah, and that's a great question. And to be honest, we're still getting our arms around all of those use cases. We have put in a champions network, an AI champions network within our business, and as well as a community of power users. We're leaning on them to do a lot of that prioritization for each of their lines of business. And yes, we are absolutely looking at using AI to help with that as well. We're in the middle of building an agent to help us evaluate all of our use cases.
Thank you. I'm going to actually go to the next one, and Sally, if we can highlight the next question. I think that's what do they say? The $1 million question, right? What's the ROI? So actually speaking to what are some real results that you've seen from actual agentic solutions in production, kind of going beyond the pilot, POC, MVP type examples? Could you guys share a bit more insights on that? Nice, and I can start picking, or even how you're planning to measure, right, and where do you see directionally going. So perhaps Greg, any thoughts there around the actual solutions in production measuring results?
Okay, so we're expecting very cool results in terms of career coach, but it's still on MVP. But like I said, with Certipal, we've seen a big difference. So approximately currently, like half of the incoming chats are being handled from the agent. So this is something very important for us. And because, like I said, it's a very complex business, there are a lot of questions related with the exams and certifications. So what we're actually hoping in the next year is actually give the capability to also do actions on behalf of the agents, like scheduling exams, etc. So this will increase even more the return on investment on Copilot Studio.
Yeah. Azsure?
Yeah. So what we're not allowed to share any additional, I haven't been cleared to share any additional ROI figures for anything in prod right now. But what I can tell is that what we do have access to that Microsoft provides is both the Copilot Studio Kit, the Center of Excellence, the Business Value Toolkit, and our PPAC, right? So with all of these tools available to us, there is a great plethora of ways that help us measure value from our Copilot agents. So those are the tools that we have that help us to measure ROI. Just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware of the many ways that we have available to us to measure ROI.
In addition to metrics, I think people focus a lot, and we of course look at our metrics and try to figure that out. But I think of AI adoption as a journey, and it's and this is one of the challenges is people, even if it is a useful tool, they aren't necessarily using it. We have a lot of M365 Copilot users that just still don't use many of the features because it's that sort of it's that path, it's that journey of acceptance that is a challenge for people to start using. And so while we initially started looking at metrics to say how do we make sure that these numbers are really high, but what we do more often is look at what is the satisfaction of the people that are using it? Is it helpful for them? So a lot of just asking people to give feedback and talking to them and see how things are better. Because even Promo Genius was an example. When we moved off the paper, a lot of people still they wanted the paper because that's what they were used to. They'd used it for a long time. And although it presented a lot of problems having a paper process, it was just kind of what they were used for. So our adoption figures weren't as drastically improved as we thought they were, but it's grown, and I think that's another thing to monitor is that it continues to go up. If it goes down or it flatlines, I think that's an indicator there's a problem. But as long as you have a continued growth and there's more people slowly, hopefully rapidly, everybody moves on it. But that increase, I think that shows that your success, and it will sort of catch. Right. So you get used to using one agent in AI in one place. And then suddenly they're like, okay, this is okay. This is helping me. It's not replacing me. And then they grow into the acceptance of I can use more agents. I want to do this because it makes my life easier. And it's a journey.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. And yeah, so it's not just about like static ROI with any one agent. It's like you create something and that creating the snowball effect. So you're putting in the processes for that continuous improvement and evaluation. Sounds great. Well, coming up, we're at time. This hour and a half flew by. So here's what we're gonna do to just wrap it up real quick. I know, and actually, by the way, Brian, there are some very specific questions on the apps you showed. Perhaps in the chat itself on the Teams thread, you could reply to that, or we can get back to Ramon and others in this chat. Just more people curious about the app. But in terms of just wrapping up, maybe I'll just give like one last thing that you want to leave people with, especially those that might be just on the fence and deciding how much they should lean in on agents or hold off for now. So maybe I'm going to go from right to left on my monitor, and we'd start with Francis, with you. What's one thing you want to leave people with?
One thing I want to leave people with is to make sure that you are working with your teams and with your business partners and really understanding what they're looking for, because understanding that helps provide AI solutions that really are meaningful and impactful for their teams.
Thank you. Brian?
I agree with that. A lot of my background's in Lean Six Sigma, and so the Gemba is the most valuable tool. Go to where the work's being done. Go and work with them. Do the job. Have somebody walk you through the instruction set, and don't always rely on SOPs and guidance documents. They're not always right. Ask the people that are doing the job. They know the most about what it is, and ideally give them the tools to sort of build these with you, or even by themselves. There's so many capabilities for people to solve their own problems with guidance and guardrails, of course. But yeah, the people that are doing the work know the work and know how to help them do the work.
Awesome. Greg?
So I would say give the space to people to explore, experiment, like I said, it's a matter of changing the mindset. And when it comes to AI, I would say don't ask what AI can do, but actually what our people can do with AI. So doing, just question this, and all of this will follow in a journey.
Awesome. And Azure, over to you.
I think for anyone who is attending this call or who may be watching it later, any part of your journey with an AI orchestration platform like this is, you may be working with your risk or governance partners. And that may be causing you some challenge, and that's okay. I just want to encourage you that it's a marathon, and that's okay. If you need some encouragement, if you need some support, reach out to any of us on LinkedIn. We'll cheer you on. We'll share some tips. We'll share some encouragement with you. I think that that's okay. It's important to realize that we're at the start of a journey, and there's a 26 more miles to go, figuratively speaking. So let's just make sure we're all helping each other to learn how to do it together. Thank you.